Still about the unit circle, but this time focusing on 45, 45, 90, right triangle. We are going to go get the coordinates of all these points on the unit circle when the angle formed is 45 degrees. So, once again, it starts with 0. This is your 0. It goes all the way to pi, goes all the way to 2 pi, and this is the same as 180 degrees, and this is the same as 360 degrees. This right here, once again, is pi over 2, and this is 3 pi over 2, and you are going to go ahead and do all these points right here. So 1, 2, and 4, those. So I'm going to call this as my pi over 4 because now I have 4 slices. If I call this my pi over 4, then I'm going to call this as my 2 pi over 4, which will reduce to pi over 2. This now I'm calling as my 3 pi over 4. This now is called 4 pi over 4, or will reduce to just a pi. This will now be called 5 pi over 4, and this will be called 6 pi over 4, that will reduce to 3 over 2 pi. This now is going to be called 7 pi over 4, and this will also be called as 8 pi over 4 or 2 pi. So now let's begin. All right. So once again, this has been cut. So from here to here is 90 degrees. So I'm cutting it exactly halfway 90 degrees. So which means that this is 45, 45, 90. Now, why do I need to drop this on the x-axis? It's because I want the coordinates of this. So I want the x and I want the y. We all know that these are equal. These two sides are equal. And if you're coming from here going to the hypotenuse, we know to multiply this by square root of 2. So if you're here and if you're on the hypotenuse and going to the legs, you must divide by square root of 2. So this is going to be equal to 1 divided by square root of 2. And this is also going to be 1 over square root of 2. We all know that that is not permitted. We cannot have a radical at the denominator. So we're going to rationalize this. So we're going to have 1 over square root of 2 multiply the numerator and the denominator by square root of 2, which will be square root of 2 over square root of 4, which will turn to square root of 2 over 2. And that is it. You will have the same on this leg because the two legs are going to be congruent. So now we are going to put this here, square root of 2 over 2, both positive, because you're on the first quadrant. Now let's go to the second quadrant. It's the same coordinates, square root of 2 over 2, comma square root of 2 over 2, but this time x goes negative. Y still the same, y still positive. So on here, following the same coordinates, you're going to have square root of 2 over 2, comma square root of 2 over 2, but this time, since you're on the third quadrant, all the x and y are going to be both negative. On the fourth quadrant, you are going to have a positive x and a negative y. So positive x and a negative y. Okay, so to finish up with this lecture, just color coded. All the radians are in yellow. All your degrees are in pink. We have to real quickly give the coordinates here. So that is 1, comma 0. This right here is 0, comma 1. This right here is negative 1, comma 0. And this right here is 0, comma negative 1. I hope you learned a lot today.